Are you a part of the 12.9% of single fathers, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, who are divorced? They often say it takes a village to raise a child. So I pose the question to you. Are you looking for a more effective way to officially communicate and relate to your children or child or even your estranged spouse or partner? If this is a category in which you fall into, then having a conversation with Kevin Haggerty might be right up your alley to accomplish your goals. He's a single father of a young daughter and the creator of the Life Puzzle. At the Life Puzzle, they're dedicated to improving the overall mental health, well-being, and happiness of every individual. In the early years of a child's life, they're confronted with many things, and the overall goal of the Life Puzzle is to help parents better communicate with their child in a healthy way, which allows them to better express themselves and to help guide you to better understand your child and the best of themselves. Haggerty joined me this week to have a conversation about effective parenting, the Life Puzzle, and the impact it's making for children and parents everywhere. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Welcome to the program, and I'm super excited to be with you today to learn all about the Life Puzzle and what it means to you and your role as a dad. Great to be with you this afternoon, and thank you so very much for being here.
Thanks so much, Kevin. I appreciate your time today. I appreciate being on your show. I'm just happy to be here, man. Happy to be alive. Every day is a blessing. So a little backstory on me. I mean, where do you want me to start? You want me to start with the Life Puzzle, or you want me to start before that and kind of transition what got me into it?
Yeah, so I wanted to start by asking you about the pivot, and I know you spent nearly a quarter of a century in manufacturing, and you sort of transitioned into life coaching and consulting. So I'm wondering if we could start by talking about your life pivot and how you got to where you are today, bud.
100%, Kev, 100%. So way back when I was a kid, I always had tools in my hand. I was always interested in taking things apart and putting them together. So my father was a 25-year plus, I believe, just around that. He was an airline mechanic. So he started his career he did a trade school for high school, which was aeronautics and kind of aeronautics engineering and repair work background. Long and short, he always had tools hanging around the house. For me, I always had an interest in tinkering with things, building things, taking things apart. So that eventually just led to pretty much just a love of working with my hands, right? Coming into bicycles, stripping bicycles, putting bicycles together, changing parts, then into building car stereos. It's always been a passion of mine to create, kind of. And I transitioned from leaving high school. I did college for a short time, and unfortunately for me at the time, school really wasn't my either favorite place to be, or I really didn't have a passion for it, unfortunately, at that time. And so I pretty much just shifted into going into being a tech, right? I stuck with what I knew best. I stuck with what I understood, my kind of world, right? Went into auto body shop. I worked at an auto body shop, the same shop actually for 15 years on Long Island. Prior to that, I was building car stereos for friends, putting on bumpers, grills, all sorts of anything that had to do with cars and mechanic work. So just really, really started at the very bottom there and basically came in sweeping floors, dumping the radiator fluid, and literally went through 6 months in each section of that shop, learning every aspect of it, from the detailing side to the auto mechanic side, the assembly side, the paint side. So the owners and the owner and the manager, I guess they kind of took me under their wing. They saw that I was really driven individual as far as wanting to learn and understanding, that it was a very good career. Worked all the way there until I moved down to Florida in 2015. Shifted about to a couple of shops down here. And prior to that, I kind of always had a connection with the customers, right? I was always good with talking with the customers. I always liked solving problems. And that really was my focus. I mean, I've had a long-standing back injury now for over 10 years, due to just being a tech. And, when you're a mechanic, you're in tweaked out positions all day. So that was the basis of why I was trying to push out of automotive. There was a couple of reasons, right? Physical, my body was pretty tired of it. And, kind of mentally, I thought, hey, you know what? I think I have an ability here with connecting with people. And I want to try to see where that pans out, right? So I left and I went into automotive sales, which was really, really awesome. I did very well there. From then I transitioned to my next gig, which was, which was automotive consulting. Basically coaching clients and speaking to clients all over the world and connecting them with different vehicles, different models, what kind of cars did they like, what kind of interiors. So it really was locating, coaching them on the models that were available, and then working those numbers with the dealerships. Beyond that, I've been in the remote sales world for a little while. And on my side, I've always liked solving problems, right? So with my daughter, she comes from a divorce home as of about 3.5 years ago. And I know personally when my parents split, prior to them splitting, I had a really tough time as a kid, right? I really was all over the place and really didn't have much guidance. And then when my parents split, it was almost like I had even less guidance, right? I felt even more lost. The things that I found, solitude and comfort in was surfing, playing the guitar, and working with my hands. It was those combinations of those three or more things that really generated results for me, but made me feel good. So to go back to now my daughter coming from a divorce home, two different parents, two different lifestyles, two different sets of rules, two different sets of kind of parenting techniques. So for me, it really was just trying to come up with a solution that would allow her to really see her value, right? Because, let's face it, when you're really young, you're 6, 7 years old, you're confused as far as why your folks aren't together. Hey, why aren't you guys together anymore? And that kind of, in some cases, in my daughter's case, caused some conflict for her, right? So building the life puzzle was just something that I literally created on a trip to Georgia. We went to the mountains, myself, my daughter, my girlfriend, and her 3 kids, or 2 of her kids and a bunch of their friends. And Taylor was feeling left out, right? They're older, right? They're in their late teens, early 20s. So she felt left out, and she was acting out. And hey, well, I'm 20. I'm 22 also, just joking around. So overall, I sat with her one of the nights on the trip. I said, hey, listen, your behavior is a little out there. And I get it. We're on vacation. I'm not telling you have to sit down and, study the entire time. It's your summer break. Let's enjoy it. But here's one thing. Don't rush being 20, right? Because once you get to 2021, dude, that's it. Everything is, the numbers start counting down as far as I'm concerned at that point, as far as age, right? Because you're rushed to get to that age. And then you're like, okay, well, I've already done everything, right? I told her, enjoy yourself. Enjoy what you do. Enjoy your life. Enjoy who you are. And then I told her, I said, your life is like a puzzle, Taylor. And I said, each individual piece makes you who you are, makes you God's greatest gift, makes you so special, right? Everybody is unique. Everybody has their own personality. Everybody has their own special fingerprint, so to speak, right? So we had come home from the trip, and I just built it out of cardboard. I literally built a puzzle out of cardboard and labeled it with a few things that I saw was some of her favorite things, some things that, things that she could have some work on, maybe listening the first time, and, chores, things like that. So we've kind of developed it over that. I've done a ton of research and still do on children's self-development, self-worth, goal setting, task completion, challenging yourself, and relearning yourself on a daily basis. What can I be better at today? What can I excel at? But who can I help? Who can I serve? Right. So that really just, for me, it really just shifted into, hey, you know what? This is working for my kid. And I want to help other kids in the same situation. I want to help other kids that are not in the same situation. Maybe they have folks that are together, separated, a parent passed away, you're being raised by your aunt or uncle or a guardian or a grandparent. So it really just it's a well-rounded approach to try to help the folks understand that, parenting isn't easy sometimes, but it's super, super rewarding. Right. So the whole goal is to really try to have the parents and the children and myself and the team here to kind of all gel together and work together, where we synergize their processes, where we can kind of come up with a game plan that will work really well for them. Things they may feel like they're lacking, things they may feel like they want to excel at, things they're already doing great, just a culmination of that child's individuality. Right. And then have the parents come alongside and work really closely with them at hitting these targets, hitting these goals. And it's twofold, right? It allows the parents to do an amazing job in every aspect of being a parent and let their kids see that it's fun, right? But also it shows that child how valuable they are, not only in their family's life, but as an individual, but also in society today and for the rest of their life, right? Like the children of today are the future of tomorrow. So it's really just, I guess it's a combination, not really, I guess. I know it's been a combination of things that I've lived through, things that I see my daughter living through, and things that I wish and work towards for the future for her and for other families. And that's pretty much where I'm at, man. It's really just building value in families and children and allowing them to see their worth and also to challenge themselves in good ways. And then there's so many different ways we slice it, that we could do weekly rewards. And this is obviously based on what the parents, in number of different things, financial, what their goals are for the child, how they see fit to, reward and consequence, a culmination of everything. So it's, every child and every family is different, right? So we take a very open book approach. And then when it comes down to the puzzle itself is just a 12-piece puzzle. And that's something that we build out for them prior to shipping, right? So we'll communicate with the parent. We'll find out exactly what they want, what their goals are, what their child likes, what they dislike, what they're having a hard time with, what they're not. And then we'll build out those words according to what, that first kind of discovery call. Beyond that, we'll get on a bunch of coaching calls every week and we'll track their results. We have this thing, it's called a 30-day challenge. In some cases, we do a 60-day challenge. And it's really just trying to set great habits and build a foundation where this child and the parents can both utilize for the rest of their life, pretty much. And this is great it was designed for kids, but it's also good for adults too. Listen, anytime you set a challenge for yourself, if you set it really low and you don't get to it, you might be more discouraged than if you set it really high and you get it halfway, right? So this is great for folks that are, possibly going to get through a divorce, right? Or maybe they're thinking about divorce and maybe building out this puzzle for them to where we can say, hey, what's your value as a couple? What's your value as a team? So it's really just parents and families. And that's the whole focus, is to just help change lives, right? Help as many people as I can. That's my goal, is to help millions of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say that inclusion is the gateway to independence, and certainly this is an innovative way to accomplish that goal. And my follow-up to that, Kevin, is I'm wondering your thoughts still having a line of communication as a parent with your divorced spouse and doing that effectively. I'm wondering your thoughts there as well.
So for me, I'm in a tough spot there. Communication wise is mainly for my daughter's sake. I mean, that's the way it should be. That's the way it's supposed to be. There are some challenges. There are some growing pains for us as being divorced parents. But at the end of the day, the main goal is the child, right? I mean, even if we don't see eye to eye on certain things, which is not unheard of. There's plenty of folks out there that get divorced and maybe and the children, maybe their parents don't really see eye to eye. But at the end of the day, the main focus should be the child's happiness, their safety, their well-being, and then just building upon that. This is really, so in cases like that, that's really a good question. And my approach to that, which is, again, everything is in a constant state of education for us here at the Life Puzzle as well. So we will have parents that either hate each other or they just don't get along or they don't live in the same state. We'll send out 2 puzzles if we have to. We'll send out 2 puzzles and they can work this together on their own calls, however they communicate, or we can get on a 3-way coaching call on a Zoom call. So most of the coaching takes place on Zoom. We can do it a number of different ways. The main goal is to allow that child to really see how important they are and really focus on what they can accomplish, meaning they can accomplish anything. I mean, anything, you could accomplish anything in life. I really feel that way now. When I was younger, I really didn't have that same mindset. That's taken me through my own personal journey of really knowing the difference between, either giving up or not trying hard enough, or just understanding there's many different ways to take care of things. So yeah, overall, there will be cases where parents don't see eye to eye, but coming together collectively is the ultimate goal. And it should be for them that they want to do the very best. They want the very best for their child, and they should beyond outweigh the disagreements between. I mean, that's why people get divorced in the first place, right? So, but overall, it's for the child, right? Now, when it comes down to parents that are couples and they're together, if there's some, maybe, hey, the dad really works late hours or the mom works late hours, or they're so all over the place and their schedules are really conflicting to where they're having that difficult time ironing out time for those children, right? Either individually or collectively. This is a system where we can see those kind of misses and see those pieces of their puzzle that are not really quite connecting, and then help them reconnect them, right? Find a way where, and it only takes 15 minutes, right? It only takes 15 minutes to start. It's not a huge thing where this is going to disrupt everybody's day. You could start at 15 minutes. You could start at 30 minutes. Overall, the goal is to connect both the child and the parent, right? And have them have that one-on-one time or family time to really work together, right? And children, especially, I mean, I can tell you right from my daughter, she's 9. Now, when it comes down to her, she's like any other child her age. She wants attention, right? And when you give them attention, it makes just a great, great day for them, right? And it doesn't matter if it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes. If that's your life right now and you're really busy and you're working, trying to make ends meet, paying bills, you run a company, you work late shift, and you don't see your kid till the morning, spend 15 minutes with them. Ask them how their day was. Talk to them about the things that mean something to them. And then we'll work together as a team to try to help everybody come together. It's really fulfilling. It's exciting because the goal is to help, right? It's just to help.
I'm just curious to know your thoughts on how we build effective relationships, whether they're in business or as a parent or in life in general.
100%. Hey, 100%. That's a great question. So for me, that's something that is different for everybody, right? Yeah. For the very little bit of knowledge I know, and I say that because I wholeheartedly try to learn something new every day. That's my goal, is to learn something, whether it's big or small, on a daily basis. But relationships, I guess it really just comes down to understanding the other person's value, right? And that's in business as well. I know when it comes to business, you need to value your customers as much as you can, if not 10 times more than the other company, the other competition, because if that client knows that you're there for them and that you'll do absolutely anything, then they know they're always going to rely on you as a business owner to deliver results. Now, yes, you have to set times for yourself. You cannot always be available for your clients, right? Unless you're a doctor. I mean, there's plenty of different ways. As far as where I am in the coaching and kind of family planning, family coaching and consulting type of deal. Yeah, no, that's something that they have to see, that what I'm willing to do for them is going to go above and beyond the competition. And for any relationship, you have to constantly remind that person why you're with them and how much you care about them. And that really goes for adults, but it also goes for children, right? Because children didn't ask to come into this world. They were just put in this world by the parents, right? The parents decided to make a baby and the baby's here. So now it's our job as a parent to continually show that child how much they mean to us, and also allow them to understand that how valuable they are and how much change they have brought to the world since they've been in it. So it's a constant, for families and where I'm at, for children and families and relationships, from the way I'm seeing it now, is it's an everyday thing, all day thing. You can't miss a day. You can't miss an hour. This is something that you have to really, it's almost like earning, right? Earning a dog's trust or earning a friend's trust. You're not going to do that by walking up and just saying, hey, you need to do this for me, or hey, let's go, whatever the case is. It's something that's a constant development, a constant, I really can't place the word. It's a constant effort, right? That's the word. It's an effort that never stops, for sure.
An effort and evolution, right? Effort,
absolutely,
evolution. Everything's an evolution. But Kevin, you referenced earlier your research into child development and goal setting. I'm always a firm believer in there are three principles to setting a goal. What's the goal? What's the time frame? And what are your resources to accomplish a goal? So I'm wondering also if we can talk about your research into child development and goal setting and how you view those two things in particular.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty much approaching it. Again, this is something that I'm continually tweaking and learning and relearning about and learning new ways. Children are like sponges, right? Where they love to learn. They love information, whether they tell you they like school or not. In most cases, kids really enjoy learning. So constantly challenging them with goals that are attainable is a good thing. But in some cases, if not all cases, it's always good to have a goal that might be a little too far out of reach, to where they really push themselves, right? And self-development is something that we all want to do, especially for children. We want to help them be able to do these challenges on their own, right? Yes, you're going to be on the wings there. You're going to be kind of hanging back, making sure that they do it right, or if they need assistance. But overall, if you put a child in front of a goal that they can do every time in, time out, it's not really challenging. It's almost become instinctual at that point. Whereas if you set the bar just a little higher, that really helps them get the sense of, hey, you know what? This is harder than the last time. Let me see what I can do. And then that's something where the parents have to be very encouraging as well, right? You can't batter the kid and say, hey, you know what? You didn't do this job at all, or this is way too challenging. There's one saying that I take very seriously for a long time now, where children might not always remember what you say to them, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And that's something that's very, very important that I've learned over the years. I learned it the day my daughter was born. I said, there's no one thing that I won't do for this child, right? Except hurt her. That will be the only thing I won't do. And that comes with verbal, physical, but allowing that child to understand how much value they provide in the world and that they can accomplish anything will push them even harder. They will push themselves harder to accomplish these tasks. And then self-development, that really ties into, if they start to have that feeling inside of them, hey, you know what? I did this really hard task and it took me X amount of time and I had this amount of resources to do it. Now I know based on doing these few tasks or doing these couple of challenges that I can step up to the next level. And then that's a communication with the parents too, right? You want to have them excel at everything in life. So it's consistently pushing the bar higher and higher. Obviously, you don't go to 50 when you're only capable of doing 10, right? Maybe you push it to 10 for a few times and then you go to 15 and see where you're at. Hit 15 and go to 25, right? And build upon that. And it's awesome for both the children and the parents, right? Because then the parents get to see how well their child is performing or the things maybe they're lacking. And then they can restructure their next challenges around, hey, you know what? Let's work on this for a little while and let's just keep this one going because you're doing really fantastic. It's exciting, man. It's exciting to see kids succeeding in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And, doing my research on the life puzzle, I came away with two distinct benefits of the whole operation, Kevin. I came away thinking this is a great way to build a foundation of trust and to also improve the quality of communication between the parent, the child, and whether they're involved in school or with teachers or coaches. I think this is a great way to improve both the foundation of communication and the foundation of trust. Would you agree with that?
100%, man. 100%. Communication is key. When I was younger, I didn't have many people to talk to about the things going on in my life. And the people I was talking to, unfortunately, were the wrong types of people, putting the wrong things in my head. And, I'm a firm believer of the saying, and I've said it many times on the Superhero Parenting podcast, and I'll say it here with you, that you're the sixth person of the five people you surround yourself with, right? So if you're surrounding yourself with overachievers, people with great attitudes in life, people who want to excel and succeed in every aspect in relationships, love, caring, family, business, whatever it is, if you're hanging out with people like that, then you're going to aspire. You're just going to naturally want to cling to that type of lifestyle. When I was younger, I didn't have that, right? I was a very confused teenager. I had the wrong type of friends hanging out. No disrespect to them, no negative thoughts to them. But for me, I know myself that I'm not the same person I was then. And thank God for it, because I didn't really see a path for pushing myself to being said. This is something that I feel very strongly for. Will allow them to tell you, hey, you know what, I want to do. And overall, it is our responsibility to make sure that, if they're a student who excels in math, that they're not, pushing away from math because so-and-so said so. So one of their classmates, or if, you know what I mean? It's the communication is huge, man. Even in adults, right? You have to have an open line of communication with everybody in your life, because then they have a better understanding of what's going on with you, but also it allows them to give a chance of maybe express how they feel, right? So 100% communication and trust. Kids these days are put, there's so much put in front of them, right? It's a 5-second world. Everything happens daily to the point where 20 years ago, it would take a year to consume the amount of data and everything that we've seen in front of us on a day-to-day basis with social media, with videos, with YouTube, and all of these amazing resources. They really are fantastic resources when they're used for the right purposes. So yeah, without a doubt, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and Tim, how do you think you've evolved as a dad?
Oh man, that's an everyday thing, man. Every day I try to do better. I'm more focused on what I want for my family. Not that I didn't have that focus prior, but I'm more focused on where I'm looking to, what I'm looking to achieve and where I'm looking to be with them now and in the future, right? That was something that I was kind of blindly going through life and just day in, day out, working 9 to 5, not really paying attention to my surroundings as far as what I could have done, what I should have done. So now I really have I have a system for myself, right? I have to write down my targets and my goals every morning and every night, because that helps me visualize where I am, helps me visualize what my goals are. Again, like you mentioned, it gives me the processes on how to get there, helps me line up myself with the resources that I already have or need to get there. And that just helps me be a better dad as well, for sure. It all ties in together.
And Tim, to that point, I'm wondering your perspective and thoughts on your legacy as a parent and as a professional as well. How do you want that to be defined?
Oh man, if there's one thing I want to leave the earth with, is knowing that I helped millions of families. That's would be something that would be really, really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kevin, I know that you're building a community of parents that are rowing in the same direction. So tell me, if people want to get connected with the Life Puzzle Buddy, what's the best way they can do that?
So they can visit thelifepuzzle.com. You can also visit the Superhero Parenting Podcast. I always give a shout out to the Life Puzzle, but if they want to see what we're doing, how we're doing it, just check out thelifepuzzle.com. That's where all the resources are on there. There's going to be a few additions to that. I'm working on a financial education for children right now. That should be out, I'm hoping, by the end of April. It should have been out at the end of the first quarter. We're a little past, but we'll get there. So that's just another part, another extension of the Life Puzzle, how I'm really focusing on educating children on money, because that's another thing that I had failed, miserably at a younger age. Yeah, I made great money as a mechanic, but I really had no clue how to save it, had no clue how to spend it, no clue how to save it, no clue how to multiply it, right? And with the resources that the world is granted today, if we take advantage of all these free resources, but also educate ourselves in the right ways, then the sky's the limit, really is.
Yeah, absolutely. And just before we get out of here, Kevin, I'm noticing the guitars behind it. So tell me about your love of music and how that incorporates into your life, buddy. I'm curious.
Oh man, I've been playing since I was 13, man. It's a big thing. I went on and off for years, right? But I've always played since 13, and yeah, it's a good. It was a hobby for a while. I was in a band for a while, and we had no desire to go anywhere with it, just to play music and have fun, right? That was really just for kicks, right? But now it's nice. It's a nice release. It kind of brings me back to, the things that I cherish, for sure. Guitar is definitely one of them. Music creation, just one of those things that I'm really still connected to. So.
Well, absolutely. We all need a stress reliever in life, don't we?
100%, 100%.
Hey, Kevin, I really appreciate the work that you do to try and bring children and parents closer together. Your work in this space and time, on my behalf, I'm most appreciated, buddy, and I want to thank you for being here this afternoon.
Kevin, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, man. Just give me a shout when your broadcast goes live, and I'll post it on my sites and let everybody get connected with you as well.